Good morning. It's the 6th of July in 2022, the 130th day of the war in Ukraine, more or less. By the way, every day I did a video diary about this war because it touches me so much. And well, it becomes boring now because everything is every day it's about the same. It's that the Russians advance a little, that there are a lot of people killed, that the delivering of weapons from the West is taking place, but it doesn't change the game. It's not very it's not a big lot of weapons. So one says still that the Ukrainians have about 10 times less weapon and ammunition than the Russians in the field of the battle. So their chances are not really good, and many of them die, which I regret very much. I personally, I think our government should be more open to deliver more, and also the other Western countries. It's interesting that in our country it's quite split. There are quite a lot of people. I think about probably about 30% think it's not the fault of the Russians, but they think it's the Ukrainians are as much responsible for what happened and for the war, and they think NATO is bad. I'm very astonished that there are so many in Germany, and I think in other European countries it's similar. On the other hand, there are a lot of Germans who think it's too expensive for us. I can understand that very well. Our prices, for example, petrol, the price is nearly double, and already the taxes are very high. So well, one cannot imagine that we can raise the taxes very much more, and they are taking up credit and printing money quite a lot. So our economy is probably going down on that reason, and on the other hand it will go down because without gas a lot of the production is not possible. How will it go on? I think our government is somehow in between. I can understand that very well. If I would have a responsibility, probably I would do it the same way, to say yes, we help you and to help, but not too much, and try to avoid to have too big expenses. And what I don't understand is that partly our government tries to avoid confrontation with Russia, because I have the impression Putin is more working in this way, that if he thinks the West is weak, he is aggressive. If he thinks the West is strong and has the decision to help the Ukraine in any case, then he will be less aggressive. I think this kind of dictator is not working in the way that if one is friendly, he is also friendly. Yeah, and I can only hope that in summertime the delivering of ammunition and weapon will be enough for the Ukrainians. One says that they have only 10% of the weapons and ammunition of the Russians on the battlefield, and for that they cope very well. But it's a difference, and it's a difficult situation. One of the most difficult thoughts for me is, what would I do in that case? Would I think it's good if, for example, my 20-year-old son, if Germany would be attacked, if he would go to the front and risk his life? I'm not so sure about that. Probably I would think it would be better to avoid that by going to other countries. Of course, that's not heroism, and heroism in Germany is not a very strong feeling, but well, I can understand everybody who tries to avoid to participate, and Europe and the West is in this way. For us, our standard of living is more important than heroism and patriotism, and so it's no wonder that we are not so very much engaged. But for the Russian, it's probably even worse, because I think nobody who is well informed will like this war, which has a lot of Russian victims, probably many more than Ukrainian, and their standard of living will not be better because of this war. Even if they would have occupied Ukraine without a lot of resistance, the standard of the people in Russian would have been better. It would only be a success for those who are very nationalistic and who say Russia should be very strong and should have all his territories back. Yeah, I hope it will find a good end, but I'm not so sure. And the end, that well, if Russia stops trying to get more territory, and if there will be a demarcation line and a ceasefire, for us it will not be easier, because the European countries and Germany will spend lots of money to build up the destroyed country again, and to help the Ukrainians to build up their country. And well, that's bad luck for us that this happened. Yeah.